San Diego, California, you're looking at a boat on Mission Bay, one of the very beautiful courses. This is Ken Muscatel, and this boat has had some problems coming into this race today, and it looks like he's losing power again.
The rest of the fleet warming up for the drop of the starting flag. As we look at the lineup, Dave Billwalk in lane 1 of Pico's American Dream. He'll be challenged on lane 2 by Steve David in the Miss T-Plus engine treatment. Pete Swickadale with Ken Muscatel back to the pits. I don't know if she's going to start. Mike Jones is scheduled in lane 4 in the International News.
Right now, it looks like it's going to be a two-boat race between the American Dream and the T-Plus. There's the start of the race, and it is just two boats taking the starting flag. So we've got a drag race. Interestingly enough, the fastest qualifier coming into this race was the Pico's American Dream, Dave Billwalk. He's the blue boat on the inside. He's got a slight lead over the yellow and black boat out of Seattle, Washington, known as T-Plus. Great shot of what Steve David is seeing as he pilots that boat in second place.
A smooth saltwater course. Look at those rooster tails rise. Close to 200 miles an hour in the straightaway here on Mission Bay, and we're looking at the stalled International News. That's why she didn't start. We heard there had some ignition problems. Also, you can see Ken Muscatel trying to get Pete Swickadale back up on plane for a late start, but I don't think he's going to make it. As we look at our leader and our second place boat coming right at you, Dick.
155 miles an hour and 149 miles per hour. And it's interesting because the second place boat was actually going faster, but you know, he's on the outside. And again, that's that business about the shorter course to the inside boat. And certainly at this point, Dave Billwalk is taking full advantage of all of that. Every ounce of water that he can get, every push he can get off of that big prop that powers these boats forward. He is coming in view of the checkered flag right now. Dave Billwalk, I'm sure, is smiling ear to ear, as is his crew. Pico's American Dream takes the win in Heat 1B. Second place will go to the T-Plus boat driven by Steve David out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A good run for Dave Billwalk. Sad news for Ken Muscatel, who did his best to get that boat running.
And likewise, Mike Jones in International News had his problems. He did not start. As our winner, Dave Billwalk and Pico's American Dream comes off the boat onto the docks. Let's go to the other end and Steve.
Kenny, can you throw that over the wing?
You beat everybody but that one guy in the red, white, and blue boat.
Dave's running real well. His top qualifier. We were glad to run where we did with him. The T-Plus is just trying to kind of find out what combination we need for the final. That gave us a good indication that we're not that far off from our first guess.
You're liking the boat ride?
Yeah, the boat's wonderful. It feels almost as good as it did when we set all the records last year in Hawaii. So I think we're just going to progressively cheat, and the final ought to be a real awesome race.
As we look down at the pits now, we can see out on the course the International News waiting for a tow. That's Mike Jones. He'll try to get that boat running before the day is over. Let's go back to Steve.
If there is such a thing as an easy 400 points, that may have been it.
I don't think that exists out here. We saw what happened the first heat with the Budweiser and Mark Tate duking it out, Tate going dead, then Tide coming on from the outside. Great boat race. Anything can happen, and we had a couple of great boats in that heat with the T-Plus, and the Bonds presents Pico's American Dream.
You're fast and loose here at the entrance pin, but that seems to be the way you want it.
Well, I enjoy driving the boat there. It's the boat runs well, it handles well, and we're just trying to keep it over the top of the rough stuff.
Plenty of competition yet to go here in San Diego. We'll be back to it in just a moment. Downtown San Diego, California, across Mission Bay, which happens to be a saltwater course. That's the subject of our Eagle Snacks Performance Corner today with Ron Brown of the Miss Budweiser explaining how to prepare for it.
San Diego, being the first saltwater event of this season, some preparations have to be made for these turbine boats to run in saltwater. Normally, this is the air intake for the Miss Budweiser in freshwater. Because these boats are very hard to get on plane and a lot of spray has come forward, we extend our inlet forward so that it gets in front of where the spray may come, therefore not ingesting salt water into the engine of the Miss Budweiser. The second stage of our saltwater system is this deflector door. It has two purposes. It fills in this area, creating more lift, making it easier for the boat to plane off. Secondly, it deflects any water or spray that may get blown up into the inlet of the Miss Budweiser. As Chip leaves the pits, he pulls a handle, retracting the door, thus eliminating the lift. At this point, he's already up on plane, up and rolling. The third, but most important part of our system is this filter. It covers the engine, not letting any of the saltwater mist go into the inlet. Why do we go through this extensive saltwater process? is to ensure that power turbine wheels such as this that are running red hot do not get salt crystallization, which would cause major damage to these turbine engines.
As we start Heat 2A, Bonds presents Pico's American Dream, Dave Villwock in lane 1. And lane 2 of the Tide with Nate Brown. Lane 3, Steve David in the T+. Pete Zwickadale, Ken Muscatell on the outside. And International News, Mike Jones, they have not made an appearance.
Now it's interesting because both Dave Villwock and Nate Brown have won here today, and they're going up against each other. And lane number 1, the blue boat, is the American Dream. There's the start of the race, and right off the bat, it looks like Steve David was going to try to get himself a piece of that lead, and he leads as they come down. Here comes the American Dream on the inside. Look at those boats as they go tight into the turn. Pete Zwickadale has now fallen back to 4th place, but he is just barely off the leaders. Steve David on the outside. This gives you a great shot. You can't even see the lead boat off to his left. That's where he is. Steve David right now is running in 3rd place. He's trying to move himself up. He's just now starting to move past the Tide. But again, Nate Brown powers on. Still your leader is Dave Villwock in Pico's American Dream.
And he's over 150 mile an hour on here, lap number 1. As he comes down off of corner number 4. This is a 3-lap sprint on saltwater here in Mission Bay, San Diego, California. No question that Dave Villwock wants to serve notice to everybody on the course. Again, you look now, you can see the difference in the picture that Steve David is seeing in front of the T+. He's got a rooster tail way out in front of him, and that's the rooster tail off of the American Dream. There's David as he comes out of the turn. He is now in 2nd place. Back in 3rd is Nate Brown. Remember, it was Nate Brown and Dave Villwock, the leader of this race, who won the earlier heats today. Well, it's about 6 miles an hour behind the leader as the American Dream 153.7, as you saw, the T+ 147.7. That's about 6 miles an hour slower, but he's riding a solid 2nd place behind this boat, the leader, Pico's American Dream, Dave Villwock. Interesting to watch Dave Villwock as he handles that boat. He seems to be rough on it, but in reality, he can just about handle it with fingertips on the straightaway. The strain comes as that boat hits the resistance in the turn. There's a great shot of the Tide. You can see how that big skid fin is getting ready to dig into the water. Again, your lead boat, Dave Villwock in the American Dream. Now he's starting to look for that checkered flag. This would be his 2nd consecutive win out here on Mission Bay today. What a great way to go into this day. Points are important for Nate Brown here because in the High Point Driver Championship, he is 2nd place, and you would like to maintain that as we look at our 2nd place boat in this particular heat with a half a lap to go. The checker flag is waiting for Dave Villwock, the winner of our last event in Seattle on Lake Washington. So it could be 2 consecutive heat wins here in San Diego today, and who knows, by the end of the day, it could be 2 consecutive championships for the man driving this boat. Bonds presents Pico's American Dream, Dave Villwock. He takes the checkered flag. He comes home the winner. Steve David is in 2nd place in the T+, followed by Nate Brown in the Tide. A great run for those boats. And Pete Zwickadale picks up on 4th place, while the International News, Mike Jones, for the 2nd straight time, did not start. So Dave Villwock in the American Dream, as he's waved back into the pit area, has a 2nd consecutive win out here today. We'll see if he can go for more when we return in just a moment.